Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestle Horror. Greetings, viewers and listeners. Meat Hook Jim here. Another episode of the Wrestle Horror Podcast. And I'm joined, of course, as always, by my co-host, Donnie Hoover. Donnie, how's it going?
Oh, doing great, man. How you guys doing?
And we've got our play-by-play from New Ohio Wrestling, Mr. John Orlando.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
And on this episode, we've got the Arnold Sports World Kids and Teens Champion, the Black Superman Onyx. Onyx, how are you, my man?
Hey, what's going on, bro? I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's good to see you again.
You good to see you too, man. Good to see all of y'all.
Oh, yeah. That's a damn pretty looking belt you got there, son.
Oh, man.
I might be a little biased, but...
You know, red is my favorite color.
That is a very pretty belt. And Onyx won this belt at the Arnold here in 2019, and I believe he's going to have to defend it again in 2020.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing, man. That was a experience of a lifetime right there.
It was a great tournament, a lot of action going on, and, you know, in the end, Onyx stood tall, and Robbie Starr got messed up by Arnold Schwarzenegger himself.
Yeah, a little bit of questionable interference. You asked Robbie, he lost because of Arnold, but how was that for you, Onyx, having Arnold at ringside while you won the Arnold Championship?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. That was probably one of the biggest moments for me, personally and professionally. I mean, you know, as y'all guys know, I'm not afraid of going in the gym and lift some weights every once in a while. Yeah. And you know, Arnold was like one of my guys that you know, got me started in that. So that was like a dream come true.
Well, since you brought it up, Onyx, I have it as my number one question. You know, you're in the gym a lot. So what's a typical workout regimen for you? Does it vary day to day, I presume?
Yeah, it varies day to day. Like, you know, right now I'm in my phase where I'm just, you know, trying to get big and ready for the season for the most part. But, you know, I usually go in there and warm up with about 315, you know, something like that, you know, get the blood flowing and, you know, whatever I feel like getting into a little later than that, that's what I do.
Well, how'd you get it?
315 if I lifted it 3 times.
So, Onyx, how did you get started lifting? I mean, was this something from, you know, back like when you were in high school and you played athletics and whatnot, and it just continued on, or?
Well, high school had a lot to do with that. You know, there was a couple guys. I played football, and I was also an amateur wrestler. But it even started even before then with my father. You know, my father was big into lifting weights and everything. And we had the old sand weights in the garage. And, you know, after my dad would get through working at Buckeye Steel, we would all go meet up in the garage. You know, we had to make sure we got our sets in before, you know, we got to eat and all that stuff. So it's always been a part of my life. It really has.
Cool. So if somebody came to you and said, Onyx, I don't know where to start when it comes to lifting weights, what would be your advice to them?
Just stick with the basics. You know, you got to do your deadlift, your bench press, and your squat. You don't even, you know, it's just like a baby. I tell people all the time, you can't run before you crawl. You got to crawl first. So just stick with the basics. Deadlift, bench, squat. Those were, and then after that, then you had all the other stuff.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Some people out there might not know this, but Onyx actually has his own training facility. He actually is a certified trainer.
Yeah, it's STJ, Strength and Performance, and it's in Groveport, Ohio at 5640 Groveport Road. And, you know, guys, you know, listening to this, feel free to stop by, you know, anytime. I have group classes, also have one-on-ones, and I have a spinning studio in there and everything. So, you know, it's more like a one-stop shop there. It is by appointment, but, you know, feel free to come on in because I'm usually there all day long.
Cool. Yeah, I've been in there a couple times just to say hi. I don't get close to any of the equipment.
But we're gonna change that, man. Especially since you know you around the corner from me.
Oh yeah. I get my shoulder back.
Yeah.
Well, at least, Donnie, you're being honest. I appreciate it. I expected you to try to spin some yarn about how you were there, doing bicep curls or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just going to be real about it. I just watched everybody else.
So my question for you, Onyx, is what got you started in professional wrestling?
Yeah, brother, I always wanted to do it. I had to wait, till my life settled down in a couple other areas before I got into it. But honestly, man, me and my mother, she was a huge wrestling fan, man. And we used to sit up and watch Saturday night main event. That was the only time I was allowed to stay up late on Saturday night, before I had to go to church. So, my mother was a deaconess and my father was Deacon Jones. So, we was a very stock church family, but with Saturday night main event was on, I was allowed to stay up a little late. So I always say I always want to do it, but man, once everything calmed down in my life and everything, and I was able to give it a try, I went for it.
And how long have you been wrestling professionally now?
Oh man, shoot. I usually don't count my first 2 years, but I should anyway. But altogether, probably around 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Around 10.
I remember the first time that I met you. It was last year before last, at a New Ohio wrestling event, and I just looked at you and was like, "This guy's huge." I mean, I was taller than you, but you were like, I don't want to mess with him. He'll break me in half. And I'm 6'4". But, it's just like, and the weightlifting, man, you just enormous. But it's funny because people can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Because you are one of the most genuine people I've ever met, and you absolutely love the kids at every wrestling event.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you for that, man. Like I said, I really do enjoy what I do, and I think the older I got into it, too, made me appreciate it even more, so that has a lot to do with it. I don't want to speak, personally for me, but I really do love what I do.
Yeah, and that's actually how we ended up getting Onyx to work with us, was for that very reason. Because early off when we first started, he didn't work our first event. Mm-hmm. And we hadn't met then, and we had this thing when we started. We'd always go and scout people, go to different events and venues, and just sit back and watch. And me and Terry, my wife, went to one of Dirk Extreme shows, RCW down south, and Onyx was on there. And again, like I said, I've seen him before, obviously, and I knew who he was. But just seeing him walking out and seeing his presence, I was like, it got my attention. And so we watched him, and, he's obviously good in the ring. But what sealed the deal for us to where we knew we wanted him, and for a long time, is during intermission is where I sit back the most and just watch. And all I saw was him with kids everywhere. He had kids all around him. He was talking to them, high-fiving them, smiling. The kids absolutely loved him. He loved the kids. And Terry looked at me and she was like, "We need him." She's like, "I want him on our shows." And I was like, "I agree." And he's been with us ever since. So, yeah, and he's been to middle schools and promoted New Ohio, and he's met with kids during their lunch periods, and he's done interviews and spots for us. And he's just been an all-around player, and we're real lucky to have him and happy to have him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I was going to go and ask real quick, Onyx, take us back to the initial few days of training. When you said, "I'm going to do this," where did you go to get trained? How was those first couple of days? Was it a challenge for you, or because you were in pretty good shape, maybe it wasn't as challenging as maybe somebody else might find it?
Physically, I think I was good. I give you a little backdrop. I was driving down Hamilton Road, and y'all remember Bull Miller?
Yeah. Yes.
Bull Miller had a little school over there off of Hamilton Road over there in Eastland Square. And I just kept on seeing it said wrestling. I was like, whatever. I drove past it one time. I was like, man, there's guys in there. There's a ring in there. It was on the floor, but there was a ring in there. And I was like, man, I'm going to go in there and try that out. So that's how I got started, man. I was in there training with Bull Miller, and I don't know if you guys remember Soul Taker. I never really got his first name. Do y'all remember that guy or anything? And I was in there with them guys for like almost 4 months just straight. And Matt Taylor was there too.
Okay.
So that's where I got my start and everything, man. With Bull Miller and those guys, IWA.
Gotcha. See, I never knew that. I never knew you were a Bull Miller guy, to be honest.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Where? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I did a lot of stuff for him. Then my first show, he used to do this show for the 4th of July on that church off of South High Street. And that was my very, very first show. It was me. Y'all remember JoJo Little?
Yep.
Me and JoJo Little was tag teaming, man, against Aaron and Livewire. That was my very, very, very first match.
How'd that first match go?
Oh, man. All right.
he's like, why you got to bring up old stuff?
There might be some footage out there somewhere. I'm going to leave that one alone.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I got started, man. I was with Bull Miller.
Okay. Do you have a favorite opponent that you faced in your 10 years in the biz?
Oh man, I honestly I love working with Chance Prophet. That's one of my favorite ones. And one of our first interactions, he knocked me out. Yes, I didn't hear. We was in Ashley, Kentucky, working for Carrie for a new OCW, and it's one of our first interactions. And I swear to this day, and we laugh about it all the time because we're together a lot. Well, at least when we were working. He said, here come a kick, and I swear to this day I did not hear it. And then boom, I was knocked out on my feet. It was pretty funny. I'm pretty sure there's footage of that out there too. But I love wrestling him, man. Me and him, we just got like a good bond when we wrestle each other.
I was gonna say, I bet he knocked you out with a kick.
Yes.
Some educated feet.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So, since I've known you, Onyx, which hasn't been as long as these guys have known you, I've seen Little O come with you to the ring as a manager. Is there any chance she's going to get into this, or is she leaning more towards the weightlifting part of things?
Man, well, first of all, she's a great weightlifter. She was texting me earlier today, telling me how she was doing her rows with 135. So she's off in college right now.
Okay.
We have a rule. She got to finish that first.
Sure. And
then, of course, after that, if she wants to, she have a lot of the tools, what I'm saying, if she wants to. But right now, we're more focused on school and everything, and we'll see where the chips fall when she get out.
Well, I can say that I remember one show last year where she got in there and you both speared your opponents.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, just to see both of you do that at the same time was pretty neat. And she added a different element, coming out to the ring with you and everything. Just it made the family thing feel even better because she was with you.
Yeah, and that was something I always really I did want to do. So I want to tell Donnie and everybody else, thank you for allowing me to do that. She went on the road with me last year. No, sorry, not last year. Year before, we went. I had a little tour of North Carolina and Florida and everything. And when she went with me that time, I was like, man, I would love to have her. It was just me and her. We were driving through the States, and I was like, man, I would love to be able to do something with her like that, And then she always wanted to ride with me and everything. So, things just turned into that. But a little bit with that spear, man, we practiced that just like right before the show, man. She's better than me, man, already.
Yeah, she was nervous, though. I could tell she was nervous about it.
She was nervous, but she felt so good after.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because she was doing it to Robbie Starr.
That probably have a lot to do with it. Yeah.
So I like Little O. She's great.
Yeah.
So, Onyx, would your advice to anybody that wanted to get into the biz be the exact same advice you would give or that you gave to your daughter is, have a backup plan before you start this endeavor just in case something happens?
Oh, yes, of course, man. Even, with me, I wanted to make sure that's one of the things what I talked about earlier about having my stuff in order. I wanted to make sure I finished college and everything because I had to go back and finish. So I went and finished at Ohio Dominican and, got a couple other things together before I even ventured out into it. Because you always, you go out, as you are, all you guys know, you go out there slipping a banana peel, be done. So you always got to have that backup plan, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there any other advice you would give maybe to somebody besides that wants to get into wrestling?
Yeah, listen. You know, that was seriously just listen, man. Just be a sponge. That's one of the things I do, you know, personally, and then just watch too. I mean, I know you guys know, you know, when y'all see me at the shows, I'm always watching. You know what I'm saying? Well, you might not see me, but the majority, I'm always watching the shows, seeing what everybody's doing, seeing what they're not doing, you know, seeing how the crowd is. But just listen, man, because you can always learn something, you know. And because I remember when I was doing a lot of work for APWA for Don, I was around like Barbarian and all those guys all the time, man. And I just shut up half the time. Just listen, because they could teach you so much.
And you know what? I think that has been the number one piece of advice that many wrestlers have told us here on this podcast is just mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Listen, pay attention. You can learn a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You really can. Just, you know, don't get too full of yourself and just listen.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep, that's a lesson I learned that I even carry over into this podcast. I mean, they'll notice a lot of times when people are talking, I'll just like shut up and won't say nothing. And Jim feels like he's doing the podcast by himself a lot of the time. I mean, it's just like I said, that's how we've been taught. You know, if somebody knowledge has got something to say, you shut up and listen.
Yeah.
So that's what I normally do. And speaking of, because I know you've been around a lot of great names, a lot of great talent, a lot of knowledge. Who has been some of the most memorable people that you've sat and listened to or talked with or worked with in your career?
Barbarian by far, man. Barbarian by far. You know, I got lucky enough to, you know, work him quite a few times too, man. And so that was some of my best moments. I got to be around Vader back in, what was that, 17 or 16, whenever that was. Got to be around Ted DiBiase. So, you know, I was around a lot of those guys where I would just, you know, I didn't honestly, I didn't want to say nothing, man, because those guys went and done everything that, you know, I inspired to do, you know, to do. So I'm going to sit back and just pay attention, man, you know, just listen to them. Kevin Sullivan was another one that I was, you know, and that was just real cool, just genuinely nice, and just sit down and just talk to me, man, just to tell me just little things to do, you know, as far as like in the ring and stuff. So I've been lucky, man, you know, being older now and seeing all the people I've been around, being in the car with them and all that kind of stuff, man, I've been pretty lucky, you know, just to get that knowledge dropped on me.
I'm still somewhat in shock that you said Kevin Sullivan, because that was a name I would not have expected, in all honesty. So number one, for you to be around, you know, because I don't know if he works a lot of indie dates. And secondly, too, I kind of just didn't expect him to be the type of guy that would be very helpful with the young talent. I mean, just he kind of, again, maybe it's part of the aura of him, if you will, you know, that I just kind of didn't expect that name to be thrown out there.
Oh, yeah, man. I remember I was working the show down in Circleville. That was the last time I seen him for Bobby Fulton. He had him there and everything. And I've seen him other places before, too. So I've always kind of like had a good rapport with him. And then he was booking some of the shows up in APWA. So that's when I really, you know, got to know him. And I don't know if he, you know, wanted to, you know, talk to me, not wanting to talk to me, but wanted to, you know, teach me something or whatever. Maybe he saw something or whatever. But yeah, he gave me some little nuances to do, you know, in the ring as far as, you know, some things.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, the last time I saw Kevin Sullivan was on an episode of Impact last year, where he was playing the demon assassin Rosemary's father during a whole storyline that involved going into the undead realm. But it's great. It's a little bit out there, but it was good. But I've also heard stories about Kevin, and you know, I grew up watching Kevin in WCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, and he always had that. You weren't quite sure how to take him as far as his character goes, but I have heard stories about him being very genuine behind the scenes and helping out other people, and you reaffirming that just brings another level to what Kevin Sullivan is and what he's brought to this business over the years.
Yeah, like I said, I know he did for me, man. He helped me out, so yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about him.
who were some of your inspirations when you first? I mean, was there when you were watching the main event? Who were some of your heroes back then, Onyx?
Oh man, Junkyard Dog, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Okay.
You know, Ron Simmons, any of those guys, man. You know, my mother loved Hacksaw Jim Duggan, man. Loved him. He could do no wrong, man. To her, in her eyes. And I remember, you're right. And I remember I got lucky enough to work him too, man. And yes, I worked him. Was it NWA Premiere? I forgot exactly where it was at, but no, it was in Kentucky. But I forgot for what promotion. And the footage is probably out there somewhere, but I remember I smiled so big when he hit me with the 3-point stance, man. Because it was like one of those things where I was like, "Mom, this is for you," So yeah, I had one of those moments. But man, she when he brought that stick out, man, she would go crazy in the house. it was good times.
Okay.
Good times.
So, are you still also? I know that you obviously are the NOW Arnold Sports World Kids and Teens Expo champ. Are you also still the AIWF TV champion?
Well? Yeah, I still am, man. Yeah, I'm still am. Go ahead.
Fill in some of the listeners as to what is AIWF, because it sounds like a very interesting concept.
Yeah, for the most part, like I'm still kind of new to it, myself right now.
Sure.
But it's a lot of it's a promotion that's doing a lot of, I guess, cross promotion with other people and traveling around, and I guess it's trying to do like the old days, as far as like having their champs going to certain territories and do everything like that. I'm really probably going to get really started rolling with those guys in the beginning of next year. A few things at the end of this year, so that's all new to me too.
Okay, so they run predominantly out of like West Virginia, Kentucky,
Kentucky, North Carolina. Yeah, out of that area. There's some stuff down in Georgia. I know there's some stuff out there in Portland, Oregon, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm interested to see how far we go with this. So
yeah, because that's a cool concept and a good concept, one that has obviously worked in the past. And while I was taking a look at some things online, I stumbled across that, and I'm like, that sounds like a cool idea for folks involved. As long as egos don't get involved.
Right. Well, you know how that is. You know how that is. You know how that is. I won't be the one with one.
No.
You know how it is. Yeah, but I am excited to be working with those guys, though. I really am, man. Like I said, I think it can work. If things are done right, it can work. So I'm excited to see what we do with that next year.
Yeah, cool.
So is there any opponent out there that you haven't faced yet that you would like to, Onyx?
Any opponent that I haven't faced yet?
Somebody that you really just want to wrestle. I mean, it could be a WWE superstar, or it could be somebody on the indie circuit, or somebody you'd really like to face in the ring.
And no, I'm not coming out of retirement.
Donnie Hoover, that's what I want. Right now, let's write it down right now.
Okay, Shane, that'll be a squash match.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
I had to really think about that, man. Of course, I'm gonna always say like somebody like I know he's not working too much, but like Ron Simmons, some of those guys like that I've seen, earlier. But I mean, when I was younger. But man, like I said, I don't know, because I've been lucky enough to be in the ring with so many great people. Like I was in the ring. I mean, I didn't fully understand the realm of, but I was in the ring with Dr. Death, man, long time ago, man. And, that's like one of the coolest things, ever. It was for RCW down in Portsmouth, man. So, man, I don't know. I got to really think about that. I see, some guys. Y'all know who Congo Kong is? I do like working with him. Me and him worked quite a few times. He's one of those big old giant guys that can actually move and everything. So
yes, he can.
I had a lot of fun with him. Man, you got me on a question right there, because I'm one of those people that work with anybody.
Okay.
So
Well, something for you to think about. Yeah.
Yeah. You really. Yeah, I got something to think about
now. Come on, guys. I'm not the only one asking questions here.
I was letting you have your time.
Hey, I have my list of questions. I'm checking them off. I'm almost out.
I mean, if you guys are done with the wrestling side, I kind of want to flip the script a little bit because it's a Wrestle Horror podcast. Right. And another little tidbit some people out there may not know is when we had our haunted trail, the Trail to Minotera, Onyx and his wife actually came out and guest acted for a night, and they had a lot of fun. And I was wanting Little O to come, just I wanted her to make her feel like she's going to be a part of the show, but I wanted to spend most of my night scaring the crap out of her, pick on her. But yeah, we put him in this big cloak and had fog and lights coming out from behind him, right? And he was basically the first thing that people saw when they entered our trail, and he was pretty intimidating.
Man,
I'd have just left. I'd have just saw him left, you know.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a lot of fun, man. That really was. I never done nothing like that ever in my life, and man, I had a blast doing that, man. That was fun. Cold, but fun.
Oh yeah, it definitely was cold. That outdoor trail stuff ain't no joke.
Nah.
Well, that's actually a lot of my background, Onyx. I ran a team of traveling actors that worked haunted attractions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when Donnie told me that you had worked out there with him, I said, that was really cool, but you would scare the crap out of me. and I'm hard to scare.
Oh, yeah.
I think I got a few of them scared.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got some pictures of his silhouette and stuff. I'll have to show them to you sometime.
But see, you wouldn't have to put him in makeup or anything. Just stick him there.
Especially in Grove City. It will be hard, brother. It will be hard.
So, Jim, are you saying that you're always on the lookout for somebody as big as Onyx? Is that what you're saying?
I am actually. So I'm gonna throw it out there, Onyx. If you ever want to go out and scare people at a haunted attraction, I got your hookup.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I might take you up on that one, man.
I got a place that we go out to in Indiana. Man, people would be just running.
I might take you up on that one next year.
I will keep you in mind. I'll let the manager know, and we'll get you out there, man.
Cool.
Yeah, and do you have like a horror background per se? As in, did you like horror movies growing up, or is that kind of your thing, or did you just want to try the haunt one night, or?
No, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I am a horror fan now. I don't like that demon stuff, that possession. I don't mess with that one, man. Because I could tell y'all a funny story off camera about that shit stuff. Sorry, but I like I'm a big Jason fan, Michael Myers. I just when they come out in the movie theater, I'm there. So yes, I do like the horror, the leather faces, Freddy Krueger's. But when you start messing with them Sinisters and all that other stuff, I'm leaving, brother. Yeah, I'm leaving.
That brings up an interesting thing, Donnie.
What's that?
Onyx and Kane Hodder.
Oh yeah, I don't know how good that was. You know who Kane Hodder is, right?
No, who's that?
Kane Hodder played Jason in about 5 of the Jason movies.
Mm-hmm.
And when Donnie and I have both met Kane, I met Kane multiple times because I go to horror conventions too. And when Kane poses for a picture with you, he wraps his arm around your neck and he literally chokes you.
Oh,
mm-hmm. Like shoot choke.
Oh,
yeah, shoot. Yeah, it's a shoot choke. Trust me, there's nothing fake about it.
Yeah,
and I'm just thinking, would he do it to Onyx? Or
I'm sure he will.
Oh shit!
He might not be able to get his hand around his neck, but
right.
I ain't messing with that cat either, man. So he stay on his side of the room, I stay on my side of the room.
And he's 60.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a big guy.
And that arm, man, Donnie and I both have pictures. It's like He doesn't mess around. He's choking it. He choked.
Oh yeah, yeah. He snatched me up before I was ready, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, I was like gagging and everything.
Yeah, I'm straight then. You know what? I take a picture for my phone from far back.
You take a picture of me getting choked.
right. I'll make sure I'm with one of y'all too.
Well, who's bigger? Is it Kane Hodder or Tyler Mane? Because Tyler Mane was
that's a big dude
Michael
too.
Meyer.
Yeah, that's a big dude too.
Tyler Mane is a lot taller, but he doesn't have the bulk.
Okay, I was gonna say, is that the difference?
Thinner. Yeah, okay. He's Tyler played Michael Myers, Kane played Jason. But yeah, Tyler, I've met Tyler Mane too, and he's he's close to 7 feet, but he probably weighs less than Onyx does. I mean, he's thinner. He doesn't have a lot of the bulk that Kane does.
Yeah, I say Kane's got a thick upper body and stuff, which matches perfect with the Jason character.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those some big dudes, man.
Yeah, but there's a couple of them like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 had an actor named R.A. Mihailoff, and he's a big guy. He's pretty close to Onyx's size, and just like Onyx, nicest guy you'd ever want to meet.
Cool. Hey, didn't one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guys, a big dude from the program? Y'all remember that movie, The Program, about the football players back in the 90s?
Right.
Andrew. Oh man, come on. I thought I saw that he was one of the newer Texas Chainsaw.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his last name, but he played in the remake.
Yeah. He was Latimer in The Program, but I remember him. I remember his name because that's when I was coming up, and then all of us kids watched The Program.
Right. And in the original, it was Gunnar Hansen who played Leatherface, and I was fortunate enough to meet him before he passed.
Oh wow!
But he was a big guy too. But I tell you what, man, you're bigger than most of them scary guys out there.
Oh man, I need to be getting in Hollywood then, man. Hey, well, let's send this off to the Hollywood people. Let them know.
Yeah.
Well, just be prepared, because when you said that, Onyx, all I could think of is that documentary Beyond the Mat, where they were talking about Hugh Jack, and they're going, "Well, I could see him as Denzel's friend, not so much Denzel." That's all that was through my mind.
Well, I do got a little Denzel on my left side.
Okay,
I got a little bit.
So, what other types of horror movies do you like, Onyx? I mean, we've established the Jason, maybe the Michael Myers. We steer away from the sinister stuff, but
do any of the animal stuff count? Because I've watched that movie Crawl.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty cool. When with the alligators, is that horror or no?
That's horror. That counts.
Yeah, just alligators eating people.
That's horror to me.
Is the Purge horror?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So because I just now started. I don't get much time watching TV, but
sure.
I just now got started watching the series that come on USA. And that's pretty good, man. I don't know if you guys watch that stuff.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. So, yeah, American Horror Story. I'm a big fan.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of AHS, man. I've been watching that since it came out. So, yeah, damn. I do like horror stuff. I didn't thought.
So you done learn something yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess I really do.
You mentioned AHS, and that's funny because I'm friends with one of the stars in two of the seasons.
Okay, which one?
She was in Asylum, and she was in Freak Show.
Okay, Freak Show, one of my favorites.
Okay, do you remember the pinhead named Pepper?
Yeah.
Naomi Grossman's a friend of mine. She actually, when I went to Canada for a horror convention, my haunt character got married to my wife. I mean, we weren't legally married in Canada, but we were up there. It was just a staged wedding, but she stood up as my best woman for this marriage.
Oh wow, man, that's sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I remember Pepper, man.
Yeah. Naomi Grossman. I've seen her several times, and she's looks nothing. Absolutely, she's beautiful without all
I was
that
gonna say,
crap
yeah,
on.
she's pretty good looking.
Yeah.
I don't think
makeup.
I don't think. Shit. I don't think I've ever seen her out of makeup. You made me look that up.
Yeah. Take a look at her. She's not a bad looking woman.
Has she done other things, Jim, besides horror, or has she just predominantly been in those two shows and that's it? Or
No, she's done some off Broadway stuff, and
okay.
And there's a lot of she did a lot of comedy when she was when she was first started out. Did Second City stuff, and
Okay, gotcha.
And the Groundlings in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done mostly AHS is her big
Okay.
thing, but
Gotcha.
she's if you look Naomi up, she's got quite a list of matter of fact, at one point in time, she used to be a translator for Josh Gates when he would go down to Brazil. Josh Gates did Expedition Unknown, where they search out these legends and stuff in different parts of the world.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now that I knew that name sounded familiar.
Yeah, she did some translation work for him, but her work as Pepper was really amazing, and in both seasons that she was doing that. And very genuine lady, really, really sweet.
Well, if I can stick with the horror theme, so to speak, Onyx, do you have any horror stories for being out on the road, going to wrestling shows?
Yeah, that's good.
We all have one. I have a couple of getting lost. You have no idea where the hell you are.
I seen a bear on the side of the road. Yes, man. 79, man. I never forget that night. Long story short, me and my brother Kenny in the car, man, we trying to make it to Huntington. And we just driving. It was blizzard, it was snowing and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, that's a big object down the freeway. What is that? We didn't know what it was, man. Long story short, we get up on it. It stands up. It was a bear, man. And it look over at us, and we looking at him. He's like looking at us like, why y'all two out here? We're like, oh shit. I put my hands on the steering wheel. It kept going straight. That thing was like it could have pushed our car over, man. Oh man, I ain't gonna talk about that then. Then I was on are y'all familiar with 124 off of Portsmouth? Like going to man, goodness gracious, where was we going? I can't remember the name of the daggone promotion. But anyway, I swear to you, I saw something fly across the front of the road, man. It like jumped from one side to the other. And then at one time, oh man, I don't even want to talk about it. You can get me goosebumps.
He got to sleep with his nightlight on tonight.
That's down in Mothman area.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, I done seen some things I ain't supposed to see. Been some places I ain't supposed to be in, man. Me and Kenny always make a joke since me and him are both African American. We both usually one of the first ones to get killed in the movie, man. So we try to see which one of us will go first. Because it's two of us. Two of us or one. So yeah, I done see some scary stuff on that road.
Well, if we put you in a movie, nobody's killing you, man.
Well, listen, LL killed the shark and Deep, whatever that movie was.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, he helped us out a lot with that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Gave y'all some street cred, huh?
Yeah.
I've got that movie in my collection. I've watched it several times.
Yeah, LL helped us out a lot with that one.
Yes, he did. He survived. Everybody's going,
right.
The black man survived.
Right, I know, man. Busta Rhymes helped us out too. Remember in Halloween?
Yeah.
He was doing karate to Michael Myers, which I think is stupid as hell. I don't think that one would have worked.
All right.
Oh, this is gonna be a good episode.
I like having fun, man.
Oh man, I'm glad we got you on here. I'm glad Donnie got you on here, man. This has been a really fun show. This is going to go up Monday, and I think people are really going to like this.
Yeah.
What I think John covered this earlier. But for those that are starting out, and I have a reason for asking this question again. What's your best advice? You said listen to people that want to get into wrestling. Aside from the listen part, what other advice would you have for somebody that's just starting out?
For the most part, be humble too. Not only this, but be humble. Because quick as it come, it can leave you just as fast. And a lot of people, get out there and don't be as humble. You get a few people cheering for you. You think some people might think they're bigger than what they are. Just be humble and then and learn from it more than anything else. I know it's easier said than done, especially when you're younger. You're seeing stuff differently. But yeah, just being humble, man, because it can be taken away from you. Like, this is quick, man. I'll just give you something that happened to me back in 2017. Long story short, I don't know if any of you guys know, but me and Lil O was almost taken out of here. In January 16, 2017, we had a FedEx truck flipped on top of us.
Wow.
And it got hit by a semi on Hamilton Road. We was at the light at Bixby. And let's just say 2017, January 16th, around 3:30, like really changed my whole outlook and way I viewed a lot of things in life. But yeah, my daughter was sitting in the car. We was driving over to my gym, and a FedEx truck was trying to make a left, and the semi truck was calling down the thing, and it hit us and flipped us right on top of us. Man, I had to show you guys pictures one day, but we were almost taken out of here, man. And it makes you look at stuff totally different. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, well, glad nothing happened bad. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think a lot of you guys knew and everything, but that happens to us, and that changed me, man. Changed me a lot, actually. It really did.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that question is because I don't know if you remember, but at the Arnold last year, there was a girl running around picking up gear after every match.
At the fair, too.
At the fair as well.
Mm-hmm.
That girl is my daughter, and she is training under Cody Hawk right now. Down here in Hamilton. She's been training she's about a month and a half in. And I'm just looking for, tidbits to give her, bits of information just to help her out with her progress, because she really loves the business. Yeah. And she loves the training she's doing. And I just want the best for her. It was her choice to be a pro wrestler. And I'm helping pay for his school, and
well, tell her to listen to Cody, man. That's another person. Seriously, there's two. Seriously.
Oh, the reason I laugh is because that's her problem. She gets a little mouthy.
Oh no, tell her to listen, man.
So Cody makes her pay a little bit.
He does.
Hey, man, I can also say I love Cody, man. He was another person that was very instrumental for me in the beginning of when I first started wrestling. Because I used to go down. Y'all remember when he was running Ego Pro?
Yeah.
Ego Pro Wrestling down in Cincinnati. Man, I was going down there like every either Tuesday or Wednesday night, like right after I got off work to get some ring time and everything, man. And I ain't gonna sit here in front. I learned a lot of stuff from Cody, man. Just working with him and everything. So yeah, tell her to listen to Cody, man. He has to me, man. And I ain't saying nothing just to be saying nothing. He's very, very good, man. So I learned a lot from him, because on those nights we go down there and train, and then he do his little shows for Ego Pro, and I got to work him several times, man. And just listening to him in the ring and everything. So,
but
tell him listen to him.
She does listen to him, but she has a problem with her mouth. And Cody has a solution for that, because she does. She does has a tendency to sass off, and every time she does, she gets to do 100 Hindi squats.
She's gonna be nice and strong.
She is.
She's gonna be strong.
That's why I started laughing, because I knew he was gonna say, "Listen," and I was like,
But the training that he's given her so far, and this goes over to the haunt actor side. The venue that my team of actors works at. If you walk outside the actor area, you walk down a path and there's an intersection to the parking lot, and you go left or right, and there's a boulder on the right side. Well, she didn't see that boulder, and she tripped over it, did a shoulder roll, and ended up on her feet because of her training.
Yeah.
Instead of going face first in the gravel.
Yeah.
So it stuck to her. It stuck in her head, and I'm very grateful for that. And I don't think without that training that we'd probably be getting her stitched up or something.
How old is she?
She is 23.
Okay, all right. She got just tell her to listen. Tell her to listen.
I gotta tell her to listen to me sometimes.
So Onyx, in the next few weeks and months, what do you have on tap? Do you have any matches or any shows you're going to be at?
Next weekend, I don't know for sure yet, but I might be going down to what is it, WrestleCade down there in Raleigh.
Oh, yeah,
down there. Winston, yeah, thank you.
Winston-Salem,
yeah. Winston-Salem, yeah. So hopefully I'll be going down there, and then around the holidays, I usually try to shut it down a little bit anyway, just to spend more time around here and everything. I'm a grandfather now.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah. I don't think none of you guys ever met my son, but I have a 5-month-old granddaughter now. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing some of that kind of stuff right now. I mean, y'all. Podcast world, y'all getting a little different side of me right now, so I'm looking forward to doing some of that. So, but I know I got a lot of stuff already lined up, for the beginning of next year. But to answer your question, that's probably about it next week.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, unless something else come along. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, how can people find out more about you, Onyx? Do you have Facebook, social media, anything like that?
Yeah,
I
have the Facebook Onyx Black. People can always meet me on there. I got to do a better job of being on there. I'm not on there as much. I got Twitter, Onyx Black Twitter. You can find me on there, and then those are about my two major social media outlets. And then my gym is STJ, Strength and Performance Studio. You can find that gym on Facebook and other stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this has been one of my favorite shows since we started doing this. I mean, we do this every week, and this has been one of I'm really pumped about this show. This is a lot of fun, and you've been a great guest, Onyx. One last question.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever turn heel?
Not here. But to answer your question, I actually prefer to work heel, but some people tell me I smile too much.
Didn't you work heel down at Dirk's place for a little
while? Oh
while?
yeah. Whenever I go back, I still am a heel down there. Okay. So yeah, I actually prefer, but I gotta quit smiling, and for some reason I can't.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. This was fun, man. Too. Thanks for having me on here, guys. This was a lot of fun.
No problem. Definitely have you on back soon, some other time too, for sure.
Cool.
For sure. This has been great. So just for everybody listening out there and watching, watch this man. I say you can't really tell from the video here or on the audio, but he's a little bit shorter than me, but he scares me. He's so big.
He's a little bit shorter, but his bicep is about the size of your head.
Exactly. And how much do you weigh, Onyx?
I'm probably about a good 268 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, now.
But it's all muscle.
Yeah.
It's all muscle. He's scary. You don't want to meet this man in a dark alley.
I've been known to flip a few cars, you know what I'm saying, every once in a while.
He's a great performer. Loves the kids in New Ohio wrestling, and the kids love him. My gosh, every time we do a show, he does photo ops with all the kids, and all the kids get to get in the ring with him, and it's really special. So keep an eye on Onyx Black. He's going to be somebody to watch for quite a while. My name's Meat Hook Jim with the Wrestle Horror Podcast, along with Donnie Hoover and John Orlando, and our special guest, Onyx, the Black Superman himself. And he didn't even take off his sunglasses for the whole episode. And he's
not at all, baby.
And we can't forget the Arnold Sports World Kids and Teens Championship, which he will be defending again in March. Hopefully he'll retain. We'll have to see what happens during the tournament. Until then, thanks for listening, Onyx. Thank you for being an awesome guest.
No problem, brother.
This is going to be a lot of people are going to be talking about this episode for a while. Peace out, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See y'all.
See ya.
Mm-hmm. See ya.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. Facebook.com/WrestleHorror, Instagram @WrestleHorror, Twitter @WrestleHorror, on our YouTube channel, the Wrestle Horror Channel. Also, you can find us at www.wrestlehorror.com.